Hello, friends, and welcome to the Moonlit Lioness Stargazing Sunday. Um, I'd like to talk about the energies for this week, so I'm going to go ahead and share and bring up my slides. All right, so as I said before, we've got this ongoing theme, this overall theme, and you can see it here. Make sure you can see my arrow moving here. Yes, you can. Okay, so the mini trine is ongoing of the outer planets here. So the outer planets forming the mini trine, we are in an ongoing period of transition. So Pluto is breaking down old systems and changing new ones. The sign of Aquarius is new technology and new invention, innovation, etc. And then it's in this trine to Uranus, and Uranus is in Gemini, which is, Uranus is new technology and innovation as well. It's very highly affiliated with Aquarius and modern rulership. It rules Aquarius. So it's in Gemini, which is about people talking, working together. So all of this is happening. Right now, it's going to continue to happen, keep happening. I talk about this every week. This is a really auspicious situation that we haven't seen in modern history, I guess I would say. The thing I'd like to add this week is that the nodes, so these horseshoe shapes here. So our south node is in Virgo and our north node is in Pisces. Nodes are in retrograde at the moment in the health axis. So we call this the health axis here. And they're going to be here until the end of July, about the same time that this mini trine breaks up. And so the health axis consists of the south node in Virgo, like I said, and the north node in Pisces. And that means we're letting go of the quote science and systems that we so much relied on, and we're going to learn to trust more in the spiritual modes of healing. So it's going to change, as far as our healing goes. We're going to go more into alternative healing, more spiritually led healing, and less into the current science and systems that we have. And this will continue to change for a while, but it's especially happening now. And with Pluto and Aquarius, it's showing that our health systems are moving into something different. So let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so for this week in particular, we have a Mars sextile Venus, and this can be very good for putting extra energy to work when you have Mars in Taurus. That's kind of like, and I'll show you an image, but it's kind of like that, rocky energy. It's steady, it's steadfast and moving. The energy is very directed and very steady. With that sextile to Venus, it's a very good time to socialize with family. And that Mars, going back to Mars, being conjunct Chiron, it might bring up issues in your mind about coulda, shoulda, woulda, or, maybe I should be leading more here. Maybe I should be more independent here. Maybe I should take initiative here. That kind of thing might be popping up in your mind, or might come out in conversation when you're talking with family. So let's see here. It gives us emotional insight into learning to trust the universe. Yeah, so we've got this Venus here, and there's a really light trine because it's moving into a strong trine with the node sextile here. So you can see how it's working with that energy of letting go of the old, taking on the new. And so some conversation that happens might be edging us more in the direction that we're looking to go to. Let me show you a picture. So if you look here, you can see this is kind of the energy of Monday and Tuesday. Here's Rocky. He's with his family. He's socializing with his family, having a good meal. That would be Taurus, enjoying that kind of thing. And then in his mind, he's kind of thinking about, should I have done this or that to avoid that knockout? Should I, whatever. So he's got a few things coming, maybe it came up in his mind as part, because of the conversation, or who knows, but that's kind of the energy of Monday and Tuesday, kind of what might be happening for you. Now let's move into the Wednesday, Thursday. We have Sun entering Gemini. So Sun will be moving from Aries into Gemini. I'm sorry, I had a brain fart, but Gemini is the third, so Taurus into Gemini. I don't know what I'm thinking. Anyway, so it's moving from Taurus into Gemini, and I have a really nice picture of that as well to show you the energy of that. But you can see when it enters Gemini, soon after it conjuncts Uranus down here. And Uranus can be shock, surprises, like I said, new technology. It's in Gemini. So that's like a lot of activity, going here, there, discussing things with people, even your own mental processing, peaks, etc. And because it's right here on this trine, the sun is joining Uranus, which is on this mini trine. It's helping this mini trine move us in that direction, move us into the new world of health, and moving away from these Virgoan science systems into something a little more spiritual and relying on universe. So I say here, Sun moves into Gemini and Moon into Leo. This puts a lot of emphasis on conversation and news. With Moon in Leo, there may be emotional insights about your own vitality, identity, and purpose, because Leo is ruled by the Sun, which are those things. When the Sun conjuncts Uranus, there may be thoughts of moving outside of the usual and being your own unique self. And so let's look at what that looks like. So we've got Samwise Gamgee here. He's got everything in his knapsack. That's like Sun and Taurus, I like to have all my resources with me. I like to have my food, my good food. I like to have my water and my shelter. I got to have all my things that make me feel good. And, that was the Sun in Taurus. And then the Sun's moving into Gemini, and all of a sudden he becomes like Marty McFly. Marty McFly is always on the run. He's moving here, there, to the future, back again. And he's moving. And with this Uranus conjunction, it's like, Uranus also rules lightning. You got this lightning strike here, to kind of activate things and, thrust it into the future. And it's kind of like we're getting an energetic shock with that Uranus right there, kind of pushing us forward. So that's kind of how I see, it's going to be, it's not going to be exactly like that, but, it's kind of a nice imagery to help you see, how the energy changes when the Sun moves into signs from one sign to the next. I also added something different this time. So on the world stage, and see my world map here. That's for fun. I thought I would add a little thing to the end of my presentations about on the world stage. What does this mean, or what can the energies mean this week for what's happening in the world? And what I got was that there are supportive energies from Venus to Mars to tone down any type of war talk. A lot of times we'll look at activity between Mars and Uranus to look for aggressions or warlike behavior. And, we just don't have a whole lot of that this week. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. When the Sun enters Gemini and conjuncts Uranus, that propels us strongly into futuristic themes. On Friday, there could be some surprising information released about futuristic modalities or aliens, because this is happening in the sign of Gemini, which is news and information and things like that. So there could be something coming out at that time. And then with the Moon entering Leo, and the moon changes sign every 2.5 days. So, it's always changing signs, but because of the Sun conjunct Uranus, looking at the moon, it's entering Leo at the same time. So there could also be some news about world leaders, actors, or government. I mean, we've been hearing stuff already, so it would be surprising if something comes out there as well. So that is the energy for the week, and I'll go ahead and do a tarot read now to see what the tarot has to tell us about the energies for this week. All right, so let's see what the energies for the week are. I went ahead and shuffled. I'm going to go ahead and cut now. What are the energies for the week? All right, so we're looking for some kind of balance. Could be legal, could be justice. Okay, there definitely is a change happening this week for us. Okay, something we've been waiting for. All right. So there's something we've been waiting for. Something's coming this week to bring things into balance that we can celebrate. Okay, we've got cups and cups. Something new. And, okay, so we're... It's interesting that this card came up, right? Because I had my picture of Samwise Gamgee going through the portal and changing into Marty McFly. Actually, that was what it was supposed to look like anyway. But it kind of, that was the idea. And so it's the sun moving from Taurus into Gemini. And so that's, you've got the woman walking through like a portal, going through the threshold. So, and it's the world. So we've got 3 major arcana. So, yeah, I think it's positive for sure. And we've got something that is affecting a lot of people because of the major arcana. And it's going to be something to celebrate. It's something that's bringing things into balance. Something that's going to be, and this is a pentacle, so it's something physical. It's a manifestation. It's something that will be presented. And if I look at the future and what comes from it, the Queen of Cups is somebody who's in command of her emotions, instincts, intuition. So I would say there's something new being presented that's helping us with that quality, that emotional, intuitive quality. And it's not something we're going to exactly move out into the world with. It's not that sudden and immediate, but it is because this man is still within the walls of his home, but he's looking at the world and he's thinking that eventually he's going to utilize it, or he's going to go into the world. So it's interesting, we got the world and the world, both of them here. So I think it reminds me of, in my astrology presentation, where I talked about in our nodes, we're moving from the south to the north, and they're currently in Virgo, moving to Pisces, which is Virgo is very scientific in nature, analytical and scientific, where Pisces is more spiritual and creative. So this makes sense that something new is happening this week that's going to take us through a threshold where we're going to, all of us, if we choose to, I think we'll have more intuitive abilities. That's what I see here. And it's to bring things back into balance. The purpose is to balance, because I think we've been out of balance for so long, been taught to rely on these systems and other people and the authorities and been taught that we can't rely on ourselves and our own intuition. And what this is saying is we're coming back into balance where we can rely on that more. Let me draw 2 more cards. Definitely more cups, the beginning. So this is another beginning with cups in that direction. And yeah, we've just been for so long relying on, quote, the science, and the science we now know has been manipulated a lot for the purposes of those who want to sell us whatever. So this is changing, and while this is a new thing for intuition, etc., like I said, this is something we're manifesting. So something's going to become more visible. Maybe on the world stage, something will become more visible, but I haven't picked up on exactly. Maybe because of the justice, there will be some justice. I did say the moon is in Leo. The moon will be coming in Leo, so there could be news about our leadership. And so this could be like new changes with our leadership. Yeah, that makes sense, because a new leadership, new legal situation, something new legally, or with our leadership here. I think that's what that is, because that was also in the astrology, and it's showing up here in the cards. All right, so that's what I'm getting from the tarot read, and I hope you enjoyed my read, and I hope you have a wonderful week. I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday for What's the Word Wednesday, and I will be doing a collaboration also with Tarot by Lupo. So hopefully, I think he probably will get that up Monday, which should be tomorrow after this recording. So if you want to check that out, that should be out soon also. And we'll just do a little bit of investigation on some of the current things that are happening. All right, well, take care, and I will see you again soon.